Hi everyone, I'm Annette with the City of Chandler Special Events. We're excited today to bring you our Forky craft. This was going to be part of our Toy Story 4 movie at our CinePark event that we are unable to have, but hopefully bringing you this craft to your home, you'll be able to have some fun with it with your kids. The items you will need for this craft is some Play-Doh, air-dry clay, or we do have a recipe for salt dough on our website. Easy to make, 3 ingredients, flour, salt, and water if you want to make your own Play-Doh. You'll also need a piece of cardboard. Any cardboard will work. A pair of scissors, some glue, red and blue Sharpies, but really any colors will work that you have if you don't have those specific colors. Sporks. We all should have quite a few sporks from all of our takeout as we're supporting our local restaurants. If you don't have a spork, a fork will work, a plastic fork. Pipe cleaner. If you don't have pipe cleaner, because I know I didn't have that available in my house, some of that Play-Doh or clay that you have, you can take some food coloring and dye that red to use. And I'll show you how you're going to use that a little bit later. And then any kind of beads, googly eyes, you can create your own eyes, but we'll get into more of that as we assemble our Forky. So let's start out. First of all, we're going to create the feet for Forky. They kind of look like skis, is what I call them. You can measure these out on, again, any piece of cardboard. You don't want them any longer than about 2 inches and a ½ inch wide. And I pre-measured these, so I'm just going to cut these out really quick so that we have our Forky feet ready to go. Once you've cut out those little Forky feet, you're just going to set those aside for now. We're going to use those in a little bit. For your dough, you're going to want to take a piece of dough that's just enough that you can kind of mold it into the palm of your hand, and we're going to be using that as the base for our Forky. So once you get your dough, your Play-Doh, whatever it is you're going to be using, take that and set that aside. Let's start on our actual Forky character. As you can see, I took my spork and I trimmed off the pointy end. This just makes it a little easier as you start to assemble your Forky. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to work with that because it does make it a little easier, as you'll see as we go along. So let's assemble our Forky face. For eyes, like I mentioned, if you have little googly eyes at home, you can use those. I also created some Forky eyes out of white paper and black paper. These are just some cartoon eyes that I found online, printed out some different sizes so I could kind of decide which size I wanted my Forky eyes to be. So I'm going to use these Forky eyes for my character. Once you've got your eyes cut out, you're going to take your glue. Just use a dab. You don't need a lot of glue. We're just going to put this on this little fork. Remember to leave a little bit of room for his eyebrow because that's an important part of his face. So once you've adhered the little eyes to the Forky, make sure those are kind of where you want them. You're going to take your red marker. In the movie, Forky's eyebrow is red. You can use any color you want. Any eyebrows you want to draw will work just fine. Now you're going to take a blue Sharpie or any color you want, and we're going to make his mouth. Any expression is fine. Make it happy, make him surprised, whatever you want. And now you see my Forky is complete. He looks a little silly. Now let's start on the base of our Forky. You're going to take your ball of dough that you had made earlier and your 2 feet, or skis as I kind of think they look like. And in the movie, the name written on them is Bonnie, and they split it in half. So there's one each one. It's kind of fun. Write whatever you want to write on those little feet. I'm going to use my own name. You can use your kids' names, whatever you want. So now we're going to take the ball of dough. And with your little cardboard feet, what you want to do is kind of push them into the bottom of that dough. So you can see it's kind of going into the dough a little bit. They kind of go at an angle, so they kind of look like his little feet in the movie. And then what I like to do is just kind of push the dough on the bottom to kind of grab those and hold them a little bit better in place. Just kind of stabilize it a little better. Now you've got your feet or your skis into your Forky. Just smash him a little bit because now we're going to place our Forky on his base. And this is where, again, it was easier just to make it a blunt end and he'll stabilize a little bit better. You're going to push him all the way down into that dough ball. And then if it feels a little wobbly, you can take, just like we did on the feet, you can take some of that dough and mold it up the Forky a little bit just to kind of help stabilize him and make him feel a little bit more stable. So we've got to create arms for our Forky. Forky's arms are made out of pipe cleaner. If you have that in your house, great. Go ahead and grab a piece of that, it doesn't matter the color, and wrap it around your Forky. Don't forget to make his little hands with little loops in the end. If you don't have pipe cleaner, we're gonna show you how to use some of the dough, the Play-Doh, the salt dough, whatever you want, and make some little dough arms for him. So grab your dough. We're gonna roll this out into like a big long noodle. You want to keep it thick enough that it doesn't break easily when you start to form the little hands, but you also want it to not look like just a big red clump on your Forky. So I like to, once I get it rolled out, I'm going to break it in half, just as a little easier for me to work with. You can do it however you want. So let's take one end of that Play-Doh and we're going to roll it even thinner, because this is what we're going to use to kind of form those little fingers on Forky's hand. You can get as intricate as you want. If you're really good with dough, you know, go for it. Make it super, super detailed. I'm gonna break off the end, and then for the fingers, what I found is if you just loop it slightly, and I'm just gonna do 2 fingers, just loop it like this and kind of pinch the end of that. And now this part takes a little bit of finesse. You're going to take the Play-Doh arm, and you're literally going to wrap him around Forky and kind of pinch him in, just to kind of hold him in place. And this is where it may have to help smaller children so that they don't break the arm. Forky looks like he's been lifting weights, which is fine. It's a little bit thick right there, but as this dough dries, and if the arm is a little bit shorter, you can start to mold the arm into a position you want. But again, you gotta let that dough dry a little bit more before you totally start adjusting him. Let's make his other arm. Same process as the last. You're just gonna roll that dough out and make the smaller end so that you can make some little fingers for Forky. And then again, I'm gonna shorten this one just a little bit, just because I think that last one was too long. And then we're going to go ahead and pinch it on to our Forky character so that he has his 2 arms. So that's your Forky. Thank you so much. We had a great time, and I hope you enjoy this craft as much as I enjoyed showing it to you.